Welcome to this edition of the Native News Update. I'm your host for today's program, Paul Demain. Many of the stories read here can be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. Here's the news for the day from the Associated Press and other Native American news sources. The National Indian Gaming Association in Indian Country mourns the passing of Timothy Wapato, past executive director of the association from 1993 to 1998. Wapato passed on April 19th. NIGA Chairman Ernest Stevens Jr. said Wapato was a man of vision, a true warrior for Indian nations. As a member of the Confederated Tribes of the Colville Reservation, love for Indian peoples and respect for sovereignty was deeply ingrained in his heart. At NIGA, Wapato is known for fighting tough battles in the mid-1990s to maintain the United States' respect for Indian nations as sovereign entities. He instilled in all around him that vision that tribal sovereignty is non-negotiable and treatment of tribes as governments is the only acceptable outcome. Dozens of Westernhoshoni members and activists held an annual ceremonial event at the flank of a Nevada mountain that is at the heart of their legal battle against the world's biggest gold mining company. More than 125 people turned out for the Westernhoshoni Spring Gathering at Mount Tenabo, 250 miles east of Reno this weekend. Organizers say this year's gathering was intended to drum up support for the Westernhoshoni and conservationists who are trying to halt the Barrick Gold Corporation's huge gold mine project at Mount Tenabo. A federal judge has refused their request to block the 6,700-acre Cortez Hills project, but their appeal is pending before the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. Westernhoshoni consider Mount Tenabo a sacred landmark. It stands at the intersection of three valleys. The gathering was held near the new Barak mining area and near blue tarps that marked archaeological sites. The 10th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Denver has upheld an Environmental Protection Agency decision that a proposed uranium mine in western New Mexico is on American Indian land. A three-judge panel last week denied a petition from the New Mexico-based uranium producer Hydro Resources, Inc., challenging a 2007 EPA decision saying that an area where the company hoped to develop uranium mines is on Indian country. The ruling means Hydro Resources must get a groundwater injection permit from the EPA rather than use a permit already issued by the state of Mexico. Chris Shuey, director of the Uranium Impact Assessment for the Albuquerque-based Southwest Research and Information Center, said the decision was expected. Hydro Resources, which owns the surface and mineral rights, wants to inject chemicals into the ground to release uranium and pump the solution to the surface in a process called in situ leaching. The company sought a permit from New Mexico in 2005 to operate the mine. The state asked the EPA to make a decision on the status of the land. Wisconsin Representative Gary Sherman has announced that the Joint Committee on Finance has approved the governor's proposal for transit projects in 32 non-urbanized areas throughout the state. The approval allocates part of the Wisconsin portion of funding from the Federal American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. Three of the transit systems receiving this funding are in the 74th Assembly District from northern Wisconsin, including two tribes, Sherman said. The ARRA appropriated a total of $20 million in transportation funds for the state of Wisconsin. Sawyer County and Lakota will receive almost $600,000. Bay Area Rural Transit, or BART, will receive almost $800,000, and the Bad River Reservation will receive around $200,000 for those projects. Miami Chief Brian Buchanan will be opening the newest Indiana legislative session on April 27th with a prayer in recognition of his tribal status. Members of the Miami Nation are elated that the state is giving him this recognition. The Miami Singers will also be singing on the Capitol grounds that day, with events occurring starting around 11 a.m., with Buchanan's invocation around 1 p.m. in the Indiana State House. The Miami have about 3,000 members living in the state of Indiana, the state of their traditional homelands. The Native American Basketball Invitational Foundation, in partnership with the Arizona Cardinals, Ak-Chin Indian Community, and the University of Phoenix, will host the Chasing the Sun 10K race and powwow at the University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale, Arizona from May 1st through the 3rd. The Native American themed event, the first ever to be held in an NFL stadium, is open to the general public. The Chasing the Sun event stems from the Native American tradition of running toward the rising sun in the early dawn hours. In addition to the 10K race and powwow, a health expo would take place at the stadium, featuring a variety of health-related businesses and organizations. Lodi Kuti is seeking the nomination for principal chief that could make her the first woman chief appointed by the citizens of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. It's Kuti's elder status at 82 and her unconventional female nomination that sets her apart. Her run invokes memories of Alice Brown Davis, the most notable woman leader of the Seminole Nation. Davis was recognized as an outstanding member of her tribe because of the hard work and dedication that she exhibited in tribal affairs. In 1922, President Warren G. Hardin appointed her principal chief of the Seminole Nation, and Davis served as the tribal chief until her death in June 21, 1935, in Wewoka, Oklahoma, at the age of 82. The maternal instinct that a woman possesses and would enable her to lift a vehicle up off a pinned child is the type of power I inherently have, and a power that no man possesses, Kuti said. I will speak up for my people and defend them. Kuti said she will be frugal with the nation's money, but will provide for her people. She said the tribal members who know her knows that she speaks the truth. Kuti established the Seminole Nation Bingo, funded with her own money, and served on the Seminole Nation General Council from 1992 to 1995. Grammy Award-winning musician Joanne Shenandoah is scheduled to perform May 3rd at Madison Square Garden in honor and support of Pete Seeger's 90th birthday benefit concert. The concert will include performances by Bruce Springsteen, Eddie Vedder, Dave Matthews, Steve Earle, Joan Baez, John Mellencamp, and 40 other musicians. Proceeds from the concert will go to the Hudson River Sloop Clearwater Organization, a group that Seeger founded in the 1960s that's dedicated to the preserving and cleaning up of the Hudson River. Other noted Native American artists scheduled to perform are Bill Miller, R. Carlos Nakai, Joseph Firecrow, David Amron, Teoscan Ghost Horse, Tom Pacheco, Roland Massa, and Margot Thunderbird. For more information on that concert, you can go to www.seeger90.com. Officials have agreed to correct spelling errors in road signs pointing to a central Massachusetts lake with a 45-letter name. Lake Chargo Ga Go Ga Manchu Ga Ga Go Ga Cha Bana Gun Gamug in Webster, Massachusetts, as one of the world's longest place names. It's been spelled many different ways over the years. Some locals have given up and simply call it Lake Webster. But after researching historical spelling combinations, the Telegram and Gazette of Worcester, Massachusetts, said the local Chamber of Commerce officials and them have agreed that some signs were wrong. There was an O at letter 20 where a U should have been, and an H at letter 38 where an N should have been. There are many stories and legends about the origin of the Indian name. One popular myth, later debunked, holds that the name translates roughly to, you fish on your side, I fish on mine, and nobody fishes in the middle. And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank our underwriters for helping us with this broadcast, and you for joining with us again today. Miigwech.